Hi mathematicians, this lesson is lesson 24 and this is all about showing whole numbers as fractions and working with equivalent fractions as well. So let's get started. Number 1 says to write number bonds as indicated. Partition and label the number line to show the unit fractions of the number bond. Rename the 0 and 1 as fractions of the given unit. Oh my gosh, so many directions. All right. So here's our example. They told us it had to be halves. So notice, here's my whole. They put it on the left instead of the top. Doesn't matter. And if I'm talking about halves, I need 2 sections. So I've got 2 arms. Each one of them is a half. So then I come over to my number line. I show the 0 as 0 halves. This is the halfway point, 1 half. And 1 would be 2 halves. Okay, so that's what we have to do for each of these. But notice they're going to be different fractions. So here we've got thirds. Well, how many sections does that mean I have on my number line? 3, right? That means I need 3 sections coming off of my number bond. Okay, so at 0 I'm at 0 thirds, 1 third, 2 thirds, and 3 thirds. When we show that over here as a number bond, though, we just show each one as 1 third, the unit fractions. Okay, so this is one section of the number line here. This is another section here. This is the third section here. So when you put all these together, they make the whole, or this whole distance from 0 to 1. Okay, fourths. Well, that tells me I need 4 sections on my number line and 4 sections coming out of my number bond. So this is going to be 0 fourths, 1 fourth, 2 fourths, 3 fourths, and 4 fourths. I'm getting good at counting with these fractions. So again, we show this as all of our unit fractions. It takes 4 1/4 fractions to make the whole thing. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing the pattern. Halves mean 2 sections, so there's 2 sections on my number bond. Thirds means 3 sections, 3 sections on my number bond. Fourths, 4 sections on my number bond. Fifths, 5 sections on my number bond. You got it. So that means I'm going to try to break this into fifths too. So we've got 0 fifths, 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths, and 5 fifths. Each one of these is 1 fifth. Okay, and that's number 1. Okay, so number 2 says circle all the fractions in problem 1 that are equal to 1. Write them in a number sentence. So let's go back. Here's this one, equal to 1. And our fourths, thirds, and halves. So they started that number sentence for us. 2 halves is equal to 3 thirds and 4 fourths and 5 fifths, right? And this confirms what we've already known, that when the numerator and denominator are the same, they all are equal to 1 whole. This is a big, big idea. Okay? All right, our last problem. Taylor took his little brother to get pizza. Each boy ordered a small pizza. Taylor's pizza was cut into fourths, and his brother's was cut into thirds. After they had both eaten all of their pizza, Taylor's little brother said, "Hey, that was no fair. You got more than me. You got 4 pieces. I only got 3. Should Taylor's little brother be mad? What could you say to explain the situation to him? Use words, pictures, or a number line. Okay, well, I personally really like pictures, but for me, pictures or a number line would do the trick. Since we're using a number line here, I'm going to use a number line. Okay, so here's my number line. So this is going to be Taylor's Pizza. Underneath, because it's easiest to compare number lines when you have them on top of each other like this. This is his brother, so we're going to just label that B for brother. Okay, so I'm going to mark 0 at the same place on each number line so that I can compare them. That's how we compare the same size whole, is if 0 is at the same place and 1 is at the same place. The whole thing, they're the same size. So Taylor's was fourths, right? So I'm going to show fourths. And his brother's was thirds. Okay, so should his brother be mad? Well, no, right? Taylor's brother should not be mad because it doesn't matter how many pieces there are. If you start with the same size whole. Ta-da! Okay, because we're saying if this is no pizza and this is my whole pizza, whoops, that's how much I get. And if this is no pizza and this is my whole pizza, even though it's 3 pieces, it's still the same amount. Okay? So, go ahead and get started on your homework where you're looking at whole numbers as fractions. Have fun!